Hey guys, what's up? This is your boy Richard. I just wanted to let you all know that on April 12th at noon Central Time, I'm going to be doing a 24-hour stream of Dark Souls 3. Similar to last year, I will be raising money for a local animal shelter here in St. Louis. Thank you all for your support so far, and I can't wait to do this again. Once more, that's April 12th at noon Central Time. See you there. Hello and welcome to another episode of Double Crown Talk Time here on the Double Crown channel.
That's us.
That's us. My name's Richard.
And I'm Matt.
And we're best friends. So
Goodbye.
That's I don't know if I thought about this today. I don't know if we've ever said that like in a video.
I don't think so.
I don't think we have.
It's been written.
It's definitely, I mean, most people know, but I realized that today. I was like, oh, you know, I don't think we've ever told anyone that we're friends. I don't think anyone of them know necessarily that we live together unless they knew us outside of the channel. So that's a thing that I thought of today.
People could have thought that we just hate each other. And
we just get together occasionally and record videos.
It's like, you know video, I know audio. Why don't we do a thing? I kind of hate you, but...
Well, I mean, we can hang out for 3 hours a week. Let's just get it done. But yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about that today, and that's a thing that came up. You know what else I was thinking about?
What's that?
There's a gaming event happening tonight in Los Angeles. The Final Fantasy 15 Uncovered event.
At the time of recording.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. It starts in about 40 minutes.
Oh, okay.
37 to be exact.
Sick.
Yeah. Unfortunately, GameSpot leaked the release date of Final Fantasy 15 unless Square decides to be crazy and change it, which I kind of hope they do. That'd be really funny.
They pull a Sony and just have like a Windows document, a Word document put up on a projector that just says release date,
and then they type it in.
Else.
I wish. That would be super
PS4
funny.
cost.
Yeah.
$100 less than the Xbox One.
Yep.
Good for the reference if you didn't catch that.
Yeah, I caught it.
Good.
I hope you caught it, right? Yeah. But anyways, this is the Double Crown Talk Time, the show where we talk about video game stuff. Matt wanted to talk about sandwiches again. That was my idea last time.
We said we would last week.
And we didn't. So maybe someday build up that sandwich hype. Let us know in the comments if you care about sandwiches. You don't, though. I know you don't.
Because bread, meat, sometimes cheese.
They might care about sandwiches. It was really weird.
It's not kosher.
I know. No, it's fine. I didn't expect that to come out of your mouth. I don't know.
I know some things. I've traveled the world.
So, So in light of the Final Fantasy 15 Uncovered event, I got to thinking about Final Fantasy, which if you've seen my introduction video on our talk time, you know that Final Fantasy was a big part of my childhood, but not so much anymore. You know? Have you ever seen me play a Final Fantasy game?
A 14 for like a day.
Yep, exactly. So, but I still love those games, sorta. I mean, So that's the question I raised to you that I was also thinking about myself is, you know, what's a game franchise that you once loved? It's dear to you, and it's either, you know, at this point become either like a guilty pleasure, or if you're not necessarily ashamed that you liked it, but you know, you're disappointed. Maybe that's the proper wording. You're really disappointed in where it ended up.
Okay.
Because at this point, I'm super disappointed at where Final Fantasy is, and you know, I could talk about that forever. You've heard me, yeah. I mean, I'm curious about what you think, and because you said you had a few that you were thinking of. So yeah, I'm curious about what Matt's disappointments are.
I hope I don't forget one.
I remember two of them.
I didn't write them down.
Oh.
I almost lied.
You should have lied.
First one was Banjo-Kazooie. Primarily, I think because Microsoft bought Rare, and then all of those IPs just kind of disappeared.
Okay.
Banjo-Kazooie had nuts and bolts, which was fine. It was fun building cars and different creations and whatnot.
Is that what that game is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You build machines that can accomplish tasks for you.
Okay.
Throughout different levels.
Okay.
It was cool. It was a neat idea, but it didn't really necessarily make sense as a Banjo-Kazooie game.
Sure.
So yeah, that I put the blame solely on Microsoft buying Rare and just like not doing Rare things.
They're doing
Ooh.
common things
Yeah.
like Connect games. That's what they do.
Yep.
Yeah, super
I
common.
remember that whitewater rafting game they did or something
Did you play it?
I saw someone play it.
Did you like it? Was Banjo in it?
No.
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 Microsoft, get on it.
Banjo K3E. Do it.
Yeah. Well, there's that Sprink and Doink game. What's it called?
I think it's called Sprink.
Kazoobadoodle. Ukulele.
Oh yeah,
That's it.
The Kickstarter one.
Yeah.
I've never heard anything.
Sprink and Doink.
That's an instrument.
Yeah. The Kazoobadoodle.
Other one, probably. Well, let's just Assassin's Creed was one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So there's a reason Ezio's here?
That's my boy Ezio. I haven't given a shit about.
Thank you, Andrew Goldfarb, for this. I appreciate it. You're a good man.
I haven't cared about Assassin's Creed since Brotherhood. Really, the game's kind of like.
Did you play that one? Was
Yeah.
that like the third one?
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't Assassin's Creed 3,
No.
but it was the third game.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Assassin's Creed 2, then Brotherhood, and then the third one of that trilogy.
Revelations
Yeah. Which I
or
was
something.
like, ugh.
I have no idea.
It was just
Yeah.
so much of the same thing over and over.
I mean, that's why they're stepping away from it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, apparently they innovated things with like 3 and Black Sail. Whatever.
Dude, they were coming
Assassin's
out.
Pirates.
So yeah, like, is the pirate one a real game? Because I thought it was like an iOS game for a long time. Because there was also that movie that came out called like Black Sails.
Oh yeah.
It was like not related, but it's just like I was like, there's so many pirates right now. I can't keep it straight.
Year. I don't know. It's completely uninteresting to
Yeah.
me now. Through repetition mainly. Because I really like the story in 2, and Brotherhood continued that, and then Revelations just I couldn't get back into it.
So was it like a tapering effect, or was it just like fatigue, or like was there like certain decisions made? Because I mean, that's for me with Final Fantasy, it was like fairly specific, instances of things happening over years, where eventually I was just like, I can't even trick myself into like wanting to do this anymore.
I don't think it was a fatigue thing, because I probably would have eaten that shit up.
That's true. You don't
Continually.
get tired. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was mostly just like story things where I just stopped caring about plot points, where it's like, oh, okay, that happened.
Gotcha.
And I just don't care anymore.
No, fair
I
enough.
think, spoilers, I think Desmond may have died.
What?
Maybe.
Who's Desmond?
He was the person you played of in the real world.
In the sciencey world. Yeah. I played part of Assassin's Creed 1
Good.
because I heard that the ending was cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was real cool.
Never beat it.
That's fine,
I
too.
got bored. It was terrible. It was actually pretty bad.
I suffered through it.
Yeah. A lot of people did. I tried to. I played it on this MacBook.
Nice.
Yeah,
That
bought it
would
from-
not be my choice of hardware to play that game.
You know what else I played on this MacBook? Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum, Batman Arkham Asylum. Also not good on a keyboard. So don't get a controller, I guess. I didn't know any better.
Or play on a console.
Yeah. Dude,
Let's be real.
let's be real gamers for a minute. Yeah.
What was the other one that I told you? Killzone.
Oh, there were 4 then, technically.
Yeah. Killzone was a big one because Killzone 1 was fantastic. Really liked the art style.
I didn't like Killzone.
That's fine. I really like that you could play as 4 different people through
I didn't
each
know
mission.
you could do that.
Dude, it was awesome.
I played it on a camping trip. I rented it and convinced my mom to let me take my TV and PlayStation 2.
Nice.
And it was too sensitive. And
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know.
It was not an easy game.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how to
far.
do this. And I remember it was raining. And she was like, we're going.
You know how it is.
You know how it is.
Camping with your parents.
Yep. Trying to play video games while you're camping.
But yeah, Killzone 1 I thought was fantastic. Killzone 2 came out and they brought back characters from 1, and the plot of that game was just so emotionally heavy hitting that I was just like, whoa, this is great.
Yeah.
And then Killzone 3 came out, and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is like Call of Duty jump cuts in all of the cutscenes. Like, the gameplay was better than it had ever been, but like the story was fragmented. Like, it was kind of like tacked on almost. Sure. And then Shadowfall came out. Better story, but still, like, I was like,
Yeah.
I kind of just wanted to see more of Killzone 2,
Sure.
which I didn't get.
Yeah.
Online got better, but I still don't really care about that as much as the plot of the Vectans versus the Helghast.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that means. Green orange eyes.
Space Nazis.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you there. Wanting, that's my whole thing with like why I was thinking about this is that, you know, with Final Fantasy specifically, like, you know, I know I'm not going to get what I want because what I want is from, you know, the year like 2000 essentially. You know what I mean? I want something that the large majority of people that are going to buy the game, you know what I mean, that new audience don't care about, you know. So I can understand that, you know, things change and like it sucks, but
which I'm not opposed to change really. It's just whenever you sacrifice something to make that change, then it's kind of like, well, maybe that wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, no, you know, but clearly enough people bought Killzone 3 and played Killzone 3 to, you know, to warrant Shadowfall, and then the Vita game Mercenaries, which apparently was also decent. You know what I mean? So like, I think that was made by someone else. I think it may have been Guerrilla Cambridge. I could be wrong.
I'm
not sure either. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, like ideally you'd want to keep your old audience and introduce new people to the same thing.
Sure.
And I just think it's like it's a tightrope that you have to walk, and sometimes you go too far to one side.
Definitely. I mean, and I don't know. Depending on how it goes, I mean, I didn't have some strong connection to Killzone at all. I played 1, I played 3 because it came with my PS3, and I played Shadowfall because I bought almost every launch game for PS4 because I didn't know what to do with my time.
Fair.
Yeah. I was like, shooting, okay. More shooting, okay. Outlast. Scary.
Hooray.
Yeah.
Everything's real cool.
Yeah. But Resogun. I mean, we never did that Resogun video, by the way.
We didn't.
We were that whole series of like games Matt doesn't like.
Coming soon.
Coming soon to never. TM. But yeah, sorry, I distracted myself.
That's fine.
Yeah, I don't have this like strong connection to Killzone, but I don't know it. Like I've played Killzone 3, and I didn't play it a whole lot. I think I ended up trading in just because I'm not very good at shooters, first-person shooters. But it didn't feel bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to me, someone who didn't play 1 or 2, the writing didn't feel bad. I didn't feel like it was a stupid story. I had no fucking clue what was going on.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But it didn't feel like and not necessarily. I've beaten a Call of Duty campaign. It's fine.
Yeah,
it was an action movie. You know, it is what it is.
I guess that's kind of, or like 2 was more of like a space drama. Like it's kind of like comparing, like The Expendables versus Saving Private Ryan.
Sure.
Or like Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
It's like you're emotionally attached to these characters in one game, and then the next game they're just like the biggest example, Rico, who's the big guy with the chain gun. He's a real burly dude.
Yeah.
In 2, he had like real character development, and then in 3, he was just this dude that fucked everything up and yelled a lot.
Gotcha.
And it's like, well, okay, I guess we didn't learn anything.
Yeah, I mean, and I can certainly understand that. It's really hard to do that, I think, with like Gears. I don't know much about Gears. I haven't really played them at all, but I think people were kind of disappointed with the story in like 3. I could be wrong. Let me know if Christian, you like Gears. Let me know.
Were you disappointed?
Yeah. Were any of the 3? Gears like known to have a bad story? Because I feel like that's a similar thing. You know what I mean? Where like
I'd say it's probably very similar.
You know, but at the same time, you know, I'm sure Guerrilla were like, well, you know, we want to make this more like a higher action game. You know what I mean? Like, we've done these two, but people like this. We can get a new audience with this. We can show it this way. Killzone 3 was Killzone 2 on PS3?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So then that doesn't work. But
I think it came out the same time as the PS3 Slim, though.
okay. Killzone 2 did?
3 did.
Okay, yeah. So yeah,
So
I
it was
mean,
a Slim launch,
sure.
basically. Because there was a bundle. That's the one you got.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, I mean, I'm betting that was a part of it. You know what I mean? Like, let's give them something they can recognize and, go
Sure.
from there. And like you said, that's a hard rope to walk because, I doubt that they were to be like, oh, we're sacrificing our art for money, but it'll be worth it. Like, I don't know much about them, but they don't seem like the type of developer that would do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know any first party developer that would be willing to do that.
Sure.
Third parties, sure. I mean, we see things like that all the time. Assassin's Creed. But
I'd say the biggest disappointment, though, in gaming was Metal Gear Solid 5.
no,
It's probably the best Metal Gear game,
yeah,
but it's the worst Metal Gear story by far.
okay.
That's pretty much all I have to say
2
about
is my favorite one.
Two
But
is-
we know that I'm stupid with Metal Gear, so I
mean,
don't know.
that's fine. 2 is a great game.
2 was really good.
2 is a mindfuck.
1 was really good too.
2 is probably
1 and 2 are
Kojima's
great.
finest writing.
Probably Fat Man. I love the Fat Man jokes. But for real though, who was no, that was Fortune? Was
Yeah,
that-
she was in 2.
she was cool. That was
Yeah.
a cool fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
A
don't know.
lot of memorable bosses in that game. Mm-hmm. Not so
Raven. Vulcan Raven.
little cameo with the statue and the light.
Dope.
But I can't say any fight in 5 that sticks out to me. Mostly I remember just a headshotting people.
I remember in 5 the Gundam.
There's somebody outside
It's raining, or there's somebody outside in our windows.
just smacking tree branches on our window. What are you doing?
What are
in
you
there?
doing? You got lights in there. Yeah, Metal Gear. You're special, but
You ain't that special.
you ain't that special.
I'll play 1 through 4 any day of the week.
Any day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
How about tomorrow?
Uh,
All 4.
all 4 of them tomorrow. Speed run. Check us
Speed-
out. Doublecrown.twitch.tv.
That's not
I'm
it.
not- I'm not doing
Twitch.tv/Double Crown.
I'm not doing that.
All right.
I have to work.
Still, come follow us. April 12th, we're going to be doing a 24-hour stream. You know about this. It's at the beginning of the video, but who cares?
Woo! So now that we've talked about me, what is... You've been talking about Final Fantasy a lot.
Yeah, so like I said, the Final Fantasy 15 Uncovered event is tonight. Got me thinking about it. And I've a good friend of ours, Christian, he was on a couple episodes ago over at Go Up Gaming. We talk about Final Fantasy a lot because especially 15, because he's really hyped for 15. He's excited. He played the demo. He played the fucking demo update. Like,
Okay.
they updated their demo. I don't fucking know, dude.
Demo
Or no,
with a
their beta.
patch.
Sorry, beta.
Okay.
Updated their beta. They patched their beta with more content, because that's a thing. Which is, anyways. So we kind of go back and forth, and until it just turns into us saying, bullshit to each other, and it's all
Sure.
all jokes and
As
whatever.
internet arguments go.
Yeah, we usually keep it in text form or in person. We
Sure.
don't. But I don't want anyone jumping in that doesn't deserve to be there. So, but it got me thinking about it, and I was just thinking about like in retrospect, it's there was definitely my interest in the Final Fantasy series. It being still, I consider to be one of my favorite and most not inspirational, but meaningful game franchises to my life. Like hands down.
Mm-hmm.
But there was this definite decline in interest that I saw like over time, like pretty steadily, until like it was just like a brick wall, and I was like, I don't fucking care. And that's kind of what got me thinking. So, it started with 8. Kind of, I think 8 was the first one where I looked at it, and they had this weird draw system where you could like pull abilities from enemies and use them in battle. And it was like, I honestly, it's been so long since I played, I don't remember it all specifically. But every time I go back and try to play it, I'm just like, fuck, I don't care. Like, I don't like this system. It's weird. Like, why were we doing this? It's dumb. 9 after 8 was great. Arguably the best one, Christian. I told him I'd say that.
Oh. But
still arguably the best one. One of my favorites. They kind of changed, but 9 is always in like the top 3. That one was a return to form because I think a lot of people from 6 to 7, the battle system for the most part was the same, but they added in like the materia system was new, but I didn't have a problem with that. I mean, the materia system made sense. The draw system was, again, fucking bizarre to me. I didn't like it at all. They tried to add in like hitting the triggers during like certain parts in battles to like do more things. Like they try to make it more actiony, and you know what I mean.
So it was like quick time events in the middle of battle.
Yeah, kind of.
I think,
but only
Paper
for
Mario did that.
But only for your limit breaks.
Oh, okay.
So you know it was specific points, but it was still different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're adding some new things in which I, even as a kid, remember playing it. I was like, I don't really like this. I don't get it. Can I just do the cool move? Like, fuck it. 9 was like pretty much like, here's your turn-based battle system with your equipment, and then you can learn your spells. Here's a character that can do kind of the draw thing where you eat the enemies and then you get their abilities that way. But you don't have to do it every battle. Like there was this whole thing. It was really great. 9 was great. And then 10 came out. Now you've played 10.
Yeah, the only Final Fantasy I've played. The only one.
And it was okay. You thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I had no idea what was going on. I was like, that's a big fish.
Yeah. Yeah. 10 came out, and I thought it was fine for years. And then, I started finding out that people don't like that one. And like people started to see that as the decline. And I was like, oh, really? And I've thought about it, but when I was thinking about it today, and I was like, just kind of going through my thoughts and everything, I kind of noticed that, like, while I don't hate the game, I don't think it's garbage like a lot of people do. Mm-hmm. I see why, especially people that were older than me, because that game came out when I was like 12, I think. So like I was a kid, you know what I mean? But people that were like 17 or 18 and had been playing Final Fantasy for years, like there's definitely a shift in kind of the tone of the game, and they added the voice acting, which like made everything extra weird, and everything was much more brighter and colorful. And Titus, the character, he's a weird guy.
Is that the guy that wanted to play ball?
Yeah, Blitzball. Yeah, okay. Blitzball. And he was the main character, but his story was like, my dad, I want to play ball like my dad, but my dad's gone, but the big fish, like, it took like the weird parts of Final Fantasy that were like weird, and then just was like, we'll throw cute on top of it, but not like the Moogles, little guys. Okay, well, they're
I know
chocobos.
Yeah, chickens.
Yeah, so the little cute characters that have been in there for a long time. It wasn't cute in that way where it was just kind of like sprinkled throughout. It was like the whole game's like cute and funny and ha 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 ha. And I think that may have been part of like the voice acting, whereas they're like, oh, we can evoke these emotions much better. Maybe I don't know. But I can definitely see where like that's when it started to deviate big time. Like I said, 9 was like 8 tried to go, but they brought it back with 9, and then 10 was like, fuck it, like we got PS2, let's do this shit.
You can't stop us.
Yeah,
we're on a new console.
11 came out. It was basically Final Fantasy Online.
Was there a 10 too?
There was a 10 too. Thank you. See, this is why I do my notes, but I skipped right over it.
Was that the one that was all girls?
Yes. So here's the cool thing about 10-2. 10-2's battle system was different, and I don't mind a different battle system. The dress sphere is what they called it, was actually kind of fucking cool.
Okay.
Basically, like, they danced and did attacks. Like, they...
Seems a little sexist, but I'll go with it. It was
weird. Yeah, I don't know, but, yeah, like, maybe only some of them danced. I don't know. I played it. I almost beat it. I got to the last boss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I bought it because as a 13-year-old, it probably came out a year later. I was like, yeah, more Final Fantasy. Like at that point, like if it had the word Final Fantasy in it, I wanted it. Like I didn't care if it was good. But the dress sphere system was cool. You could basically like change class in the middle of battle depending on what you needed, which was really neat. And so that would change your abilities and like the whole thing. Yeah. Like it was great.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah. So like I don't remember all the specifics, but great idea. Game was, I remember like being confused by it again. I was like, so he's kind of like him, but it's not actually him, but you want it to be him, but it's not because that happened in 10. So it's just like fan service. Got it. Like I mean, that's what it is. That was the first one. They were like, oh fuck, we sold a lot of 10. Let's make a sequel to 10 and we'll sell a lot more. So what they do, put a bunch of girls in bikinis and shit in 10 and there you go. We'll put characters that look like the ones that you liked in the first one that died or didn't die. And you'll be like, oh, I remember he looks like him. Cool.
Money.
Exactly.
That's great.
This was also when Square Enix was Square Enix and not Squaresoft. I feel like that's also important.
Wait, when did they merge?
10. 10 was the first Square Enix game.
And all of the previous iterations were Squaresoft. Okay.
So
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm attentive. And
Final
I'm ready.
Fantasy 11, big departure, MMORPG, played so much like a regular Final Fantasy game that you couldn't play the game without having a full party of people. And
so it broke the online portion?
Kind of. You had to play with people, which is fine. I was just like, again, I was a kid and I didn't know anyone that played it. None of my friends had parents that would let them get a subscription.
Sure.
So I liked it for what it was. I played a lot of it. Didn't get very far. Didn't do a whole lot. I had a guild. We'll call it a guild. It was called a Link Shell. But I talked with them all the time. I learned a lot about talking to people on the internet and what to not to do. And,
nice.
Yeah.
You had a Final Fantasy 11. I had Yahoo chat rooms.
There you go. Well, I didn't have Yahoo chat rooms. I had anime chat rooms.
Nice.
Close enough.
You one-upped me on chat rooms.
Well, yours were Lord of the Rings. Moving on. I know. 12. So 12 is a weird one because for a long time, I thought it was good. I told people that it was great. I stood up for 12 because it was on PS2 and it wasn't as colorful. Things were like
it was dark
brown
and
like things were brown and gray. And
is that the one that was with Advent Children?
No, that's 7. 7 is the Advent Children.
The movie? Mm-hmm. Okay. Was it in that style? Because I remember a lot of that happening around the same time.
Maybe. I don't remember the years.
Okay.
But yeah, I was so hyped on 12, man. I was like, oh, a lot of people made fun of the main character because he looked much more feminine than a lot of the main characters have in the past. Yeah. So I think his name was Vaughn. And I remember I'd like go online and just keyboard warrior, like he doesn't look gay and like just type shit out. But got the game, started playing it, and I'm like, okay, the big thing with 12 is it was like an open world where instead of having random battles, you would walk up to the enemies and initiate, and the battle would happen right there. That was their like technical thing, and it looked nice for the time.
Okay. Is that similar to Ni no Kuni? How you had the option to strike first or something?
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty similar to that. However, it was turn-based still in a way. Okay. Similar to, it was, I would say, fairly close to Ni no Kuni's battle system. However, I fell asleep playing that game a lot in battle because it wasn't fun.
Okay.
That was, and I still told myself, it's a great game, I just couldn't beat it. It's a great game, I just couldn't beat it because it looked so nice. I would tell people, like, I love Final Fantasy. Square Enix is the best because their games look so good. Like, they're the best. They're the best. They're the prettiest games available. And I've realized that, like, I didn't like the game. I forced myself to play that game because I wanted to be a Final Fantasy fan.
It was like Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah. I was like, I love Final Fantasy, so I have to play this game. I love Final Fantasy, so I'm going to tell people that he's not gay. Like, I mean, he wasn't, but you know what I mean? Like, the whole thing just, I was like building it up within me. So like, I was like, I have to play it. And I didn't think about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And this all literally happened to me today. And I was like, fuck, like, man, that was rough. I wish I had someone to like tell me, you know. But yeah, I never beat that game, and now I know why. It wasn't because like I did lose interest. I genuinely lost interest because I couldn't get through a fucking battle without falling asleep. Because I would, maybe I just had a problem, but I fall asleep a lot.
Bored.
Yeah, I was just bored. Story was okay, but it was.
Because there are games where like the story is so gripping that you suffer through gameplay.
Of course, that's Uncharted 1.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's definitely Uncharted 1. You suffer through the pain of shooting in Uncharted 1 for that story.
So a game is probably mediocre if you fall asleep during the gameplay and only somewhat care about the story.
Exactly. And so but again, I was so proud to be that Final Fantasy fan. I was so like, of all my friends, I was the one that played them all and like bought them all. And like that was me, and I talked to the anime kids at school about that was my life,
Yeah.
But move on. Final Fantasy 13 is announced. It's on the PlayStation 3. I don't get a PlayStation 3.
Was that a launch title?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It was just announced.
It was a game. I knew about it, but I didn't own a PS3. Didn't plan on buying a PS3. Didn't care.
So it was the opposite.
I was like, I saw it and I was like, holy shit, that game is beautiful. That game looks fucking amazing. It is the prettiest, and I still was like, Final Fantasy 13 is the best looking game out there right now. It's the best outside of Crisis and like the like.
That was the same era, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Like the fucking like technical spec porn like PC games. Like I was like, it's the prettiest game. Like it looks better than anything on Xbox. It looks better than
Yeah.
I would still tout it. Didn't even own a fucking console, but I would say it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I guess it was like Stockholm syndrome. But I did play 13 eventually. My stepbrother had it on 360, and I was also upset. I was also super upset that Square put it on Xbox.
Yeah,
that was the first time it was not outside of the Nintendo era that we had it on another console. And I guess Final Fantasy 7 was on PC as well.
Did you feel a little betrayed?
Yeah. Oh, totally. It's like whenever Metal Gear went to Xbox. Like
even like whenever Bloodborne, not Bloodborne, Dark Souls,
Same
the
thing.
first one.
But
whenever that was on Xbox, I was like, what?
But that's Shuhei's fault. God damn it, Shu. We could have had something amazing.
Think about your choices.
He says he regretted it, and it's so funny because he fucking loves those games now. Like, God, it's so funny to me. Yeah, like by this point, like 13, I played it, and I played it for like 15, 20 hours. Got to the open world part, which is just like a big open field where you can fight enemies. Battle system in 13 was fine. I had no problem with the battle system. I thought some parts of it were very cool. I liked battling. That part was great. I couldn't tell it other than lightning. I don't know a name of another snow, because Troy Baker. Lightning and snow. Don't know anyone else's name.
Those are some great names.
I know, right? I guess that kind of, those names kind of explain where it went. Like it kept getting pushed, like into this weird sort of, it's hard to describe. And I don't want to say mainstream, you know what I mean? Because it was never like, Final Fantasy 7 was like, I would hate that if that was really the thing, but it was like, it kept becoming like, it became so fucking accessible that like it lost its heart. And that's what it was. So like, to me, like a Final Fantasy is telling like these rich stories in these, big open worlds, like especially like the NES or the Super Nintendo ones, these, you go to the world map, 7 had the world map, 8, 9 had the world map, 10, you lost your world map, your overworld. It looks stupid. It doesn't make sense, but getting to go around and explore and find that weird fucking cave with enemy X in it that like wipes the floor with you, but then you get to go back and kill them and find, like those cool like little exploration things are like at the heart of what those games were for me. And I put hundreds of hours into Final Fantasy 7 just trying to do all the little shit and get the extra secret stuff in the game that, you know what I mean? You don't have that anymore. That shit's gone. 13 was on rails until you got to the open world part. And then it was like, here, farms, do some side quests. You kill 5 boars and bring it to me for experience and an item. You know what I mean?
So that seems to be a case where they walk too far on one side of the tightrope.
Yeah, they
like, we want so many new players that hopefully losing our entire fan base that was there
is
from
worth
7 prior is worth it.
Pretty much.
Which, I mean, obviously it's doing somewhat well. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep churning the games out.
Yeah, and I mean, and there's, of course, with 13, they did 13.2 and 13.3, which...
Holy shit, I didn't know that.
They did 2 sequels of 13. Couldn't fucking tell you if they sold. I assume they did. Maybe they probably not, because they would have kept fucking making sequels to Final Fantasy 13 otherwise. Yeah, so I mean, that's what Final Fantasy was to me, and that's kind of the part that I think that they've lost is like... You know, that essence of it. And it's basically, you know, I'm not going to say what I wrote here because I was just doing it for jokes, but like it's become so like cute is the word I want to use, but it basically like it's become like
inoffensive.
No, that's not right either. I don't know the right word.
Aesthetically pleasing.
I said that they've become an awful teenage anime fan bait game with cutie boys on a road trip, and that's a direct fucking jab at 15, which is about 4 BFFs going on a road trip. And then magic happens and someone gets mad, I'm sure. But like that's the difference. And I was explaining, you know, like
you were talking earlier about how like if you sum down the plots of each of the
I mean,
games.
you can like break down like 7, you know, it's about an ex like military guy that joins like a freedom fighter force against a corporation that's trying to ruin the world. Essentially, you know what I mean?
Pretty hardcore.
And I'm like, okay, that's like something I can care about. You know what I mean? And like that's just boiling everything down really small. This one, I mean, sure, we don't know the entire plot of Final Fantasy 15, but so far it's 4 cutie boys on a road trip. And there's a dog. And I think what bothers me the most is and this is what me and Christian kind of talked about and kind of went back and forth on, is there's Magitech armor, which is from Final Fantasy 6 in this game.
Okay.
It hasn't really been in any of the other ones except for 14. It's a mount, but that's more of like a, hey, you love Final Fantasy, you can get this, which is fine.
Sure.
But there's a lot of recurring themes in these games that aren't tied together necessarily, but like the chocobos and the Moogles and a character named Sid and airships and, you know, things that don't really matter but are nice to know that they're, you know, reoccurring.
Sure.
They put Magitech armor in Final Fantasy 15. And to me, that says we fucked up. we need to get those people back. They like the people like me that are like, fuck, we alienated them. We went too far. What can we do? But we still need to make an action RPG. We can't go back. We're too far gone. But what can we do to bring them? Fuck, we'll just put people like 6. Like revisionist history tells us that 6 is good, right? People love that one now. Cool. Throw Magitech armor in. They're down. No. People lost their fucking mind when they saw that, and I was like, no. You can't get me.
You're not getting me.
You can't fucking fool me. You can't fool me, Square.
You got out of Square's basement.
Yeah, like literally, that's what it feels like. Like this is the realization today, and which is why I decided not to talk about sandwiches.
That's fair.
Yeah, like it's, I don't know. It's really bizarre to me that, you know, something that you love so much could just become this thing that you, in a way, love to fucking hate at this point. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I don't love to hate it. That's not true. I genuinely like the Bravely Default games that came out on 3DS. So I remember we Square with like, we were pleasantly surprised, like completely surprised that they sold as well as it did. Well, no fucking shit. It was a Final Fantasy game that people have been asking for years. It's the regular Final Fantasy game that we want.
Yep.
Like, you could still make your fucking action RPG fantasy, whatever the fuck you want. That's fine. But, like, don't try and, like... the Magic Armor thing really sets me off. I'm sorry. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, that's where I'm at. Is it's like they've completely abandoned everyone that fucking, like, made that series what it was. Little by little, And like maybe, I'm not saying that they tried to give me Stockholm syndrome. Maybe I'm just mad at myself for lying to myself to fucking, like those games. And, maybe it was just because I never thought about it hard enough, as an adult, as to like, why don't I play them anymore? Why am I so pissed off about them other than like the obvious, like, surface level things? Mm-hmm.
I can relate though, because like Metal Gear, you were talking about how like the heart was gone from the games. Like Metal Gear Solid 5, just like the writing in the last cutscene, it was just like, I don't know what was going on between Konami and Kojima, but you could just tell that like he kind of given up.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck it. It doesn't need to make perfect sense. It just needs to end.
It just needs to be over with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So,
I mean, at least you have some closure on that, though. Like he's gone and shit was fucked up, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Regardless of which way the shit was fucked up. And me, I'm just like, man.
They're going to keep pumping these games out until they're out of money.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing fine right now, but like, I don't know. And they got rid of Nobuo Uematsu, the composer. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, what? Do you have nothing left? Like, anything?
It's like that old thing where if you're on a ship and you replace a piece that breaks, and over time you replace all the pieces of the boat.
Is it the same boat? I think that's what happened. That's a good analogy. I don't know that one or metaphor.
Should we end on that?
Yeah, I think we should.
Think about that. Let us know in the comments. You can find us on Twitter. I'm at _Matthew Creek.
And I am at Nablith. Do you have any games that make you sad? Because, fuck, man.
Share, comment, subscribe.
I miss you, Squaresoft. See ya.